What is going on, everyone, and welcome to the Roush Performance Esports page, the official page of Roush Performance. And guys, we are about to kick off an awesome series. This is the RoushParts.com mini-series. It's going to be 2 races that are just going to be absolutely action-packed. We got new cars that haven't hit the Roush Performance Esports page yet, but we're going to get Joey Atterbury to explain to you guys all about these cars and a little bit about the series. Joe, welcome back to the booth, man. Getting ready to kick this thing off. We're going to have some super exciting racing going on, not only here at the Glen. We're jumping up to New York here, hanging out at the Glen. Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about the RoushParts.com mini-series and these cars that we're going to be ripping around the track?
Yeah, Trev, well, I'm really excited to be here commentating on this RoushParts.com mini-series. Like you were saying, we're here at Watkins Glen tonight for race number 1, and this is actually 2 races in a single night. These guys are out here qualifying right now. Qualifying is open for 15 minutes. Your best 5 laps will count, and it looks like right now, top of the charts is Paul Darling, followed by Ross Boot. They are both getting after it, but going back and talking about the series, we're going to be doing 2 races tonight. Each race is going to be 15 minutes long. There will be a little small break in the middle, so that way these guys can get some water, we can catch our breath. Then we're going to be going green flag racing once again for that second 15-minute race. And we are racing the GT3 cars here tonight. And we have not raced these GT3 cars on the Roush Performance Esports channel before. These cars are all rear-wheel drive. They've all got a pretty good amount of downforce on them. All got super sticky racing tires, 6-speed sequential transmissions, and they're going to be doing lap times of about 1 minute 42 seconds around Watkins Glen, which is also known as Hall in the Mail, Trev.
Hall in the Mail. No, that's absolute fact. And I'm already, speaking of Hall in the Mail, as you mentioned, Paul Darling, one of our regulars up there, he is absolutely Hall in the Mail. Looks like he has the current best of a 142.8. So yeah, you're talking about some serious times getting put down here at the Glen. What does that match up to the NASCAR guys? I mean, are we far off from their times there?
Now, the NASCAR guys only run the NASCAR layout. We run the full course boot layout.
Okay.
So where Paul Darling is on track right now, he's actually on the boot reconnecting to where the NASCAR course is. So not really comparative in terms of lap time between the two. But these cars have a much faster rolling speed, momentum speed.
Yeah.
And they're still seeing about 160 miles an hour going into the bus stop. So these cars are incredibly fast around Watkins Glen. The best way I can kind of put it is these guys are like an RC car on a slot track, and they just got the thing wound up, keeping the momentum the whole lap around here.
Heck yeah, no, and these cars are looking super aggressive, big wings, big front splitters. Why don't we, so we're looking at actually Paul Darling here as he's still throwing down some qualifying times. What kind of cars do we see in these GT3 series?
In the GT3 series tonight, we got 8 different manufacturers. Right now on Paul Darling, he's driving the Mercedes, probably going to be one of the most popular cars tonight, as in iRacing right now, it is definitely one of the fastest GT3 cars. So you can see it bounces up over the curb so nicely, and Paul, always a regular, like you were saying, one of our previous series champions, leading the way right now. In addition to the Mercedes, we have the BMW, we have an Audi, a Porsche, a Lamborghini, the old Ford GT, a Ferrari, and I believe the McLaren. I haven't seen anybody out there in the McLaren tonight, but yeah, there's Rolly in the Ford. Looks like a BMW there on pit lane, followed by an Audi rolling out of pit lane there. And so we've got a great group of different cars here tonight. Great to see so many different manufacturers out representing. And as always, thank you to all of our partners that come on board. And, you know, we got, let's see here, always important, Continental Tire, Castrol, Haggerty Motorsport Reg, American Wheelman, and McConey Setup Shop joining us tonight. And we're happy to have everybody on board letting us participate in these awesome iRacing events.
Heck yeah. And I was actually just looking at a tweet. What was it? Last week NASCAR ran at the Glen, right?
Correct. Yeah, this past Sunday.
I was cracking up over because Chris Buescher always has a super strong run when he's running here at the Glen, and it cracked me up. I don't know if you had caught it yet, but he has officially changed his name on his car to Christopher Buescher, which I prefer. I always call people by their full name like that, but made a pretty good laugh. But definitely Chris had an awesome run with the RFK team. I think actually both RFK cars ran fairly well at the Glen. So no, hopefully that Roush magic trickles over to Jack Roush Jr. as he's out there running in that Lamborghini. So I know he's been putting down some time here on the sim. So hopefully we're going to see a good start from him and an even better finish. All right, there it is. There's Barney.
He's out there. Yeah, Barney, everybody getting gridded up here. They do a full pace lap at Watkins Glen, so we got a couple minutes to talk about this finishing order of the qualifying results that we got scrolling down the screen. It looks like Paul Darling leading the way with a 1 minute 42.86 is going to take pole position over Ross Booth, who's going to share that front row with him with a 143.005, less than 2/10 off. Then we got Andrew Pilata and Milan Harris sharing row number 2. John Kroom and Ilya Speaker sharing row number 3. Ryan Kristoff and Austin Lawrence in 7th and 8th. Kyle Petit and Stacy Bertrand rounding out the top 10 there. Getting back into 11th place, looks like we got Will Robbins and Max Baumann sharing a row. In 13th, we have Jonathan Ballard and Trent McMillian in 14th. In 15th, we have David Levine, followed by Chris Wolfson. Got Joe Nagy and Michael De La Sala. Steve Palladino, followed by Jim Johnson there in 20th place. Then we got our old trusty boss man, Jack Roush Jr. there in 21st, lined up next to Presley Sora. Rolly Fulgueras, shout out to Rolly, one of our old racers, sharing actually a row with Peachy Campos,
yeah,
his
check that out.
Crew chief and buddy in real life there, sharing a row back together in 24th, 25th. Stephen Baker and Kyle House, 26th, 27th, and then David Trumley rounding out the field in our number 28 spot, guys. Almost 30 cars out there tonight. We've got a fantastic looking field as this Ford Mustang leads them around 2x2 on a pace lap.
And that was the official grid of Continental Tire. Let me just tell you, those tires are going to keep these guys quick, keep them on the track, and we're definitely going to see some exciting racing. So special shout out to Continental Tire for always supporting us during these awesome events. As looks like lights are out in that pace car, Joe. Go ahead and we'll count us down to some awesome racing of the RoushParts.com mini-series. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Make sure you drop a comment who you're pulling for tonight, who you're watching, and tell us always where you're from. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the comment section below, and Joey or I will get to it. So getting ready to go racing here, guys.
Definitely their pace car is coming down, entering the boot here. And like I was saying, I think that right now the Mercedes is one of the faster cars on iRacing, but we've got a great different bunch of cars here between Porsche, Mercedes, BMW rounding out the top 3. Looks like we have a ton of pink cars from Rockefeller Racing. Give a shout out to these Rockefeller Racing boys. Always great to see a new team come in. Welcome you guys, and thank you for coming out and participating. And the cars look great out there. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like half the field is pink, isn't it?
Yeah, no, they definitely have a solid team put together here as these guys are cresting the hill. Man, these cars are absolutely looking aggressive. One thing that I noticed already, Joey, is the flash of lights. What does that mean, especially in I guess terms of the pace lap here?
You ever been to a nightclub?
They said we're getting ready to dance. That's what it is.
Hey man, it's time to party. Now these guys are just on the pace lap, but one of the things that we love to preach here at the Roush Performance events is that these events are meant to be fun and competitive. You know, everybody's out there and wants to win, but we really preach fun and That's what we want to see out here. And the pace car looks to be rounding the final corner as Paul Darling and Ross Booth are going to lead this field of 28 GT3 cars to the green flag at Watkins Glen International for the start of the RoushParts.com mini-series. Looks like we got a green flag by Barney waving it there as we got a big jump.
Shooting way wide
big
there.
jump on the inside. Looks like for the most part, everybody is making it through turn 1 okay right now. Single file headed up into turn 2 through the S's. Paul Darling leads Ross Booth, followed by Andrew Pilata there in 3rd place. Everybody playing nice for the most part, which is great to see. That's exactly what we want to see here. Don't want anybody's night ruined early as these guys are getting up to 160, 165 miles an hour, jumping through the curbs of the bus stop the first time. Looks like we got some side-by-side little door banging going on there in the back. Bound to happen here as we enter the boot for the first time. We come down, this is called the laces of the boot as they dive down the hill, left-hand turn, usually 3rd gear in most of these cars. Accelerate through the bottom and we come up to the laces. I'm sorry, the toe here.
Man, Joe, that's
lots
one
of
thing.
camber.
I've noticed these cars just hold
for it.
crazy speed. I actually seen them come through the bus stop. It was like these guys were on absolute rails to start off. I don't know if it's just those Continental tires that we could gawk about here, but coming through the bus stop was quite impressive, seeing these guys just hold a line and then pull all the way through.
You're right, and they're only going to get faster. These tires are still in warm-up mode right now. Now, this race is only 9 laps long, so these guys are going to drive it as hard as they can to try to get that temperature in the tires, because the sooner you get everything up to temp, the faster your car is and the better chance that you got of running away from everybody is. Looks like Paul Darling leads lap number 1 here at the RoushParts.com mini-series.
Yeah, jumping back to 19th, here's Jack Roush Jr. in that American Wheelman Lamborghini. Love the American flag represented up top. Got the skull and crossbones on the back, letting everyone know that Jack means business, and he's definitely putting in some solid time on the sim. So definitely excited to see already impressive coming up a few spots here from the start.
Definitely, and Jack is in the middle of a mess coming up through the S's. Let's go right along inboard with him here, because he has got cars in front, to the side, behind. He is just all swarmed up right now, as you can see. Mirrors covered up. He's got one of these pink Mercedes right in front of him that he's trying to get around. Nothing has changed up front. And this Lamborghini shooting down the hill here. It's actually pretty tricky as you come down. The tail really wants to step out from you. But as you see, this next turn is really uphill, and you can charge into the corner, dive that front end in, just wait for it to grip and stand on the throttle and really let out that Lamborghini engine. Climb it all the way up through 5th gear here. Looks like out front, Paul Darling, followed by Ross Booth, starting to stretch it out maybe just a little bit over 3rd place, number 96, Andrew Pilata, followed by Milan Harris, and then Ryan Christoph rounding out the top 5 currently, as these guys complete lap number 2, go on to lap number 3 right now. That means we're about a third of the way through this race already, Trev.
Yeah, and it looks like Paul Darling's still not holding back, obviously in that P1 position, but just threw down another fast time of the night, the 1:43.1 on this last lap. So that clean air up front, giving them tons of room to stretch, getting those tires warmed up. I don't think that this is going to be the last fast lap that we're going to see from Paul.
I don't think so either, and while this fight is going to stay pretty close here at the front, I got my eye on it, but I want to give a shout out. Let's start to run down the field a little bit, make sure we get some camera time on all these beautiful liveries and beautiful cars that are out here racing. I know that these top 3 have gotten some time. Looks like we got Milan Harris there in our first pink Rockefeller car in 4th place, followed by Ryan Christoph. You know, Ryan, it looks like, was the guy who made that real aggressive move on the start in this bright green man filter Mercedes, but he's made it work. Doesn't look like there's a scratch on the car. good racing out there, and he is followed closely by 2 more pink Mercedes. Ilya, followed by John. Both as John is getting a move made on him by Austin Lawrence. Looks down the inside. We got side-by-side racing here as we come up out of the laces as we meet up with the regular NASCAR part of the track here. Great Mercedes on Mercedes battle as it looks like Austin's gonna try to fend off another pink Mercedes as he's really crammed himself into the middle there, hasn't he?
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I kept thinking about. I was like, man, with such a solid team presence out here, it must be tough to find a good position on the track without being surrounded by team members that are working with each other. And yeah, you find yourself right smack in the middle of it quite often. As you went crazy wide there.
I think you got to constantly watch your back, because if you serve one buddy wrong, I think his buddy's coming right at you.
Exactly.
You know?
And I'm sure they're all on comms communication, talking to each other. So yeah, one little oops might end your race for sure.
Definitely. As Austin Lawrence still in the thick of things, taking it too wide through the bus stop. We'll continue to run through the field here. Looks like we got 10th place Danger Will Robbins with a nice Mercedes. I see the American Wheelman on the door. That looking great out there as he's showing the nose. He is also kind of sandwiched between some pink Mercedes behind him. Stacy Bertrand. And then it goes a little bit further back. Looks like Max Baumann back there representing Lamborghini. Castrol on the fender there. Good looking car. One position back there. All right, here we go. David Levine representing the Ford GT. Now this car might be older than the rest. It might not quite have the pace of the rest. But, man, that sounds good. It looks cool.
No.
Right, look at that thing.
No, but the coolest part, look at David's helmet. He's got the crash dummy. If you guys look closely.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome.
Well, and then looks like we got another regular Trent McMillan. Oh, no, looks like Trent's having a little bit of issues as he was rounding up, connecting back to the track here, and just had a little spin. And that really takes us through. Looks like Jonathan Ballard there in 15th. And I think that'll take us through really the top 14, top 15 this race, and we'll make sure to highlight the rest here on race number 2. I want to make sure that we get everybody a good shout out as this action continues to develop up front. Paul Darling, Ross Booth not letting them out of his sights. It really is these two starting to run away with it. Andrew Pilata in the BMW still secure in 3rd place there, followed by Milan Harris in 4th with another Mercedes. Looks like they are kind of holding station as we do have a battle for 5th between Ryan and Ilya.
Yeah, it looks like these guys have been, they've been holding a really tight battle through this last lap here. But all the respect for both Austin and Isla here. No, I think we're probably going to see a move here pretty short. Oh, I thought that was going to be it there.
I want to just give a shout out to everybody racing right now, because these races are only 9 laps long, and it's really easy to get over aggressive and use that bumper and move somebody out of the way. And this is a great clean race that we're seeing here at Watkins Glen, and very fast cars and very close racing. And you guys are putting on a great show out there. Thank you very much.
Man, I don't know how we always get so lucky with that, Joe, but we absolutely do, because if you guys have spent any time on iRacing, it's tough finding a decent crew to run with that's not going to just absolutely put you into the wall. But here, guys, we have almost 30 drivers out here, all laying it out on the line, but without with keeping that sportsmanship and without wrecking anybody. So super cool to be able to see that.
You're right, and Ryan has got a mirror full of that pink Mercedes as they're approaching this lap 4 GT. Looks like they're going to take it too wide through the bus stop. Looks like the number 06 has got the inside line through the carousel. Should be able to accelerate, take that track away, as Ryan loses that 4th place to that Rockefeller Racing car of Milan Harris. The action doesn't stop. With these GT3 cars, they're so close in performance that when you get shoved offline, look at this, Ryan is once again under attack from the next car behind just because he's a little bit off rhythm.
Yeah, no, you saw Austin set up there. As soon as he saw him go wide, Austin shot there and looking to be the next one to pick him off.
Definitely, and now he's got to deal with this lapped car, this lap 4 GT that's doing everything right. He's staying in the race, he's doing what he can. He can't just remove himself off the track, but it's something that all of these other cars have to deal with and navigate around as Austin Lawrence continues to sniff that draft as he's trying to find a way around.
Yeah, and check it out. Back to Jack Roush Jr. as he picked up another 3 spots. As last we saw him in 19th, currently 16th place on a really solid pace here. So definitely that time in the sim is working out for Jack here as he keeps picking off the field, and looks like he has a couple Rockefeller cars here to look to pass next.
Yeah, I love seeing it, and I love seeing that he's got his boy Jim Johnson in the number 808 following close behind, just a couple cars back. They're both making their way through the field. That's classic IMSA drivers right there, just kind of moving forward and taking advantage where they can.
I'm loving that Liquid Death car. I actually just familiarized myself with the product, and to be honest with you, I feel super awkward driving down the road holding a Liquid Death can. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know if you've done it yet, Joe, but drinking water out of what feels like a beer can rolling down the road just doesn't give me the feels.
I have not, but
okay.
That's great. I'll have to give it a shot sometime.
Yeah, no, you're definitely gonna have to check it out. All right, let's check in.
Point our direction. Yeah, let's get back up to the leaders as Paul Darling and Ross Booth round out the final turn. They're going to be coming to lap number 8, which is 2 laps to go here. I have a feeling that the action is going to start to heat up here in these less than 4 minutes here that we got in this race. Now, this whole time, Paul Darling qualified on pole. Ross just kind of been hanging out there. Now, I know both of these guys. I've raced with them several times in different leagues on iRacing. These are 2 of the best GT drivers that you will find out there. And one thing's for sure, Ross is going to make a move. He's going to want to try to take this win. I think that he's just biding his time as you see him poke his nose out coming into the bus stop there, just seeing where his Porsche could be a little bit faster, but that Mercedes certainly looks hooked up over the curbs, down through the bus stop. Maybe Ross has got a little bit of a faster top-end car, and the Mercedes is just pulling away through the technical section a little bit here.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a little damage here. We're looking at Paul's left rear cam. Looks like there's some slight damage there, so it looks like they may have made slight contact. So definitely might see some races, just as you said. The laps start taking away. Might get in there with a few extra little nods there.
Yeah, definitely. Time is running out, but Ross knows that. He doesn't want to show his cards too early, as Paul really is wide there coming out of the boot. Ross closes it back up now. Last lap. This is where that Porsche started to show its pace in compared to the Mercedes, and we'll see if it holds true again this lap, as they should be coming to the white flag. White flag, Barney waving that thing. We got 1 lap to go here in race number 1 of the RoushParts.com miniseries. Paul Darling dives down into turn 1, followed by that 03 car of Ross Booth. This is going to be important for Ross to really get up on that slipstream. I'm not sure if he's going to be close enough to make a move going down into the bus stop. But here they come, climbing up through turn 3, 150 miles an hour already, going to be 165 miles an hour by the time they get to the bus stop. That Porsche trying to find a way by. He's not going to have the momentum, shows the nose, tries to keep it closer. He's much closer, cuts the grass up over the bus stop, trying to get a nose in on that Mercedes through the carousel. Not quite close enough. I know that Paul Darling is looking in his mirror right now as Ross once again shows the nose coming down into the boot. Nothing yet to get him up side by side. I know that Ross is just waiting, seeing if Darling is going to make a little bit of a mistake. They both take the late apex, try to maximize the exit coming out, up the hill, run it up through 5th gear. This is going to be tough if Ross is going to make a move. He's trying to fake Darling out here in the brake zone. Our previous champion says, not going to be that easy.
Yeah,
I know how to hit my marks.
Exactly. Not many missed marks from Paul Darling here, so Ross better have his fingers crossed.
He does have a little bit of issue putting the power down with that big Mercedes turbo. As they come through the final turn, doesn't look like the 03 is going to have anything for Paul Darling. That Mercedes number 155 takes home the win of race number 1 of the RoushParts.com mini-series. Congratulations, Paul Darling.
As we see the rest of the field, here's some Rockefeller cars. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them coming in the top 15 here. Right through the top 10. Oh, looks like Jack just was able to
avoiding.
Man, just barely caught that. Oh, I know that was a pucker moment for Jack as he was able to hold on to that 16th place. Great run by Jack Roush Jr. Man, great run by all these guys. Unfortunately, it looked like, I don't know who was that. Was that Chris Wolfson at the end there? No.
You know, I'm not sure who that was that got into the wall there, but Jack did a great job avoiding, getting on the brakes, and saving the end of his race, because it was looking like it was about to go up in a bunch of smoke right there.
All right, guys, that is the first part, or that's the first race of this series. We're actually going to go to a quick 5-minute break. Joe, is that what you said?
Yes, only 5 minutes, so we are going to be right back to the action here before you know it.
All right, so don't go anywhere. Check out a few words from our partners, and we'll be right back to the racing to see who is going to take home the second win. And we'll see you guys here shortly.
Relying on racing stripes to boost your car's performance? That's not confidence. Sporting the mother of all mega spoilers? That's definitely not confidence. Relying on Castrol Edge to unlock maximum performance? Now that's confidence. It's 3 times stronger than the leading full synthetic, with 10 times better high temperature performance. It's confidence in a bottle. Castrol Edge. Maximum performance. Maximum confidence.
All right, Joe, we looks like we got 2 minutes, 25 seconds back before the second round of green flag racing. Definitely some solid racing as we saw our regular Paul Darling really take it down. Man, this guy, he just doesn't miss. Such a great driver, great competitor, always keeps things clean, so always cool to see him running up front. But something tells me that Ross, I don't think, is going to let that slide again. I think he's trying to figure out this field here, figure out the drivers, and might apply the pressure a little bit harder for next time. But as you guys, if you guys didn't check out that last partnership spot from Haggerty on the Haggerty Motorsport Reg, let me just tell you guys, it was actually super cool. I saw it firsthand happening. We actually had our homecoming event, Homecoming 2022. If you guys are not familiar, then you absolutely need to join the Roush Road crew. And if you want to join the Roush Road crew, all you have to do is head over to facebook.com/Roush Road crew, or just search Roush Road crew in that search bar on Facebook, and you can click sign up and join in all the fun. But we just got off homecoming week long of just fun. Went to the track, went and saw the automotive collection over at Roush, all the awesome horse-powered cars. Was able to take a tour, check out all the design studio. So many cool projects we're working on. We're able to share that with you guys. But one thing that I saw that was actually really cool, I was sitting in the hotel getting ready to leave as we're about to go to the track, and one of the owners, Roush owners, was swiping through on his app for the motorsport. The Haggerty. It was Haggerty.com for the trackside insurance, and he legitimately had it signed up within 5 minutes of getting in his car and getting ready to head to the track. So it's super cool how easy that is. All you have to do is head over to Haggerty.com and sign up for a quick quote if you're looking to go do some trackside, whether that's autocross, hitting the track, drag racing, all that fun stuff. So definitely make sure Haggerty takes care of you on that. But it looks like we're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Joe, looks like they're going to grid back up here.
Yeah, definitely. And one other partner I want to give a shout out to, a new one today. Give a shout out to Makoni Setup Shop. They've come on board for this RoushParts.com mini series, and happy to have them on. If you guys are looking for any sort of iRacing setups or coaching, definitely go check out Makoni Setup Shop. And then, all right, it looks like these cars are going to be gridding for race number 2 here. One curveball that we throw here at the RoushParts.com mini-series, because we like to have fun, don't we, Trev? We like to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a top 10 invert for these finishers now, which means Paul Darling, who just won the race, is going to be starting in 10th place. So
nice.
He's got to find his way back up to the front. We don't want to invert the entire grid, but we figure, let's make it a little bit more difficult for these fast guys to try to get their way back up to the front. And usually what that creates for us is either disaster on the first turn or great racing throughout the entire field. So let's hope it's the latter, but no matter what, it's going to be action-packed here in just a minute.
Well, let me just tell you, putting Stacy Bertrand and Kyle Petit up there, that's a dangerous move. Giving them that top, that first row, man, I don't know. I hope Paul and Ross and Andrew are thinking pretty quick to get through the field, because if there's separation, Stacy and Kyle, I think, can hold it down pretty good.
You're not wrong, Trevor. All of these cars in the top 10 are very fast. As we saw, there was a 2-car breakaway, but behind them was a pack of about, 5, 6, 7 cars, which means that they're not very far off pace. These 2 leaders that we saw last race, Paul Darling and Ross Booth, I'm not going to count on them to get up there immediately. I think that they're going to take the whole race to be able to work their way up through these 8 cars in front of them to maybe even fight for a win.
Man, well, I can tell you one thing that would help all these guys out is if they visited RoushParts.com before the race, add a little extra horsepower under those hoods. But let me tell you guys, if you are a Mustang, F-150, Ranger, Bronco owner, and you're looking to add an extra few horsepower or some awesome capabilities, head over to RoushParts.com and start shopping around. See what you got. We got some really cool things coming down the pipeline. Guys, wink, wink, or don't tell my boss I'm telling you this, but we got power coming for the Bronco, and it's going to be coming out in just a short week. So if you are a new Bronco owner and you're looking to add a little extra power to that steed, and guess what? RoushParts.com is going to help you out. But we got some awesome stuff over there, guys.
Are you getting these NDA violation emails right now, Trev?
I know. Oh, are you seeing those? Well, guys, I guess that's it for tonight for me. I'm just kidding. But no, man. If you guys are ready to put some power down capabilities into your ride, definitely check it out. So.
Yes,
right.
Definitely. As I always like to have fun here. No, but for real, if you guys are looking to add a little spice to the ride, make sure to go to RoushParts.com. They pretty much got everything that you ever need under the hood there.
And get you to performing well on the track. I'd like to put a stage 3 up against these guys. I'm gonna take the Jack Roush edition, 775 horsepower, Magna Ride Roush Tune suspension, and you put me back here. I'm gonna have some fun, boys. Let me just tell you.
Well, I've been behind the wheel of one of those Jack Roush edition Mustangs, Trevor, and let me tell you, you behind the wheel is a scary thought.
You know, maybe start me with the current track pack. We got the new track pack and 450R model hitting dealership floors near you. So click that dealer locator, find one for you. It's a little bit more of a it'll get you started in the right direction to get out on the track.
We got the pace car dive into pit lane as race number 2 is about to kick off with a front row of pink Mercedes as Barney waves that green flag. Looks like we got 3 wide, 4 wide, Ross Booth in the middle in that bright blue Porsche. Austin Lawrence taking it down inside. Oh, clean. Once again through turn 1, looks like a little bit of action further back in the pack there, but these leaders got away clean. Looks like it's Mercedes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow.
As it looks like that car that got spun around might have been Ross Booth, our second place finisher from race number 1. I do not see him up there with Paul Darling.
It was Ross Booth. He got tied up in some real nasty mess and put him all the way back to currently 28th, which I think he's going to be hitting the pits here shortly.
I want to keep an eye on this Austin Lawrence car, number 91. He's got the bit between his teeth right now. He's trying to find a way in front of that Kyle Petty, number 2, or I should say position number 2, pink Mercedes. And Austin was quite in a pink sandwich earlier today. And looks like he's trying to get back out front there. Paul Darling also trying to make his way up through. Looks like he's made it up to about 4th or 5th place there. Look at this GT3 field. 2 wide, up through the boot. Give a shout out to this whole field. Looks like a little bit of a spin there in the back.
Oh,
ooh, more carnage.
Looks like Rolando, Rolly. Dang.
And I think that might have been Jim Johnson. Yeah, Jim Johnson tied up with Rolly there. A shame, but these guys do have a fast repair. They can dip down into pit lane.
Man, it looks like Jack might have been mixed up in that mess. Looks like he went to the pits here. There's Max Bogman representing Lamborghini, holding on that 8th spot. I think he might be the only Lambo right here in the top 10.
As we have contact for 2nd place, Austin Lawrence tried to get it down to the bus stop. made a slight amount of contact, and I think that they both went spinning there. A shame, as it really looked like they were both having a good race. But that leaves 2 Rockefeller Racing cars out front, followed by... Is that what I think it is there in 3rd place, Trevor? Is that red and blue car that was just...
It sure is.
Man, I think he's one of our previous champions for a reason, huh?
He just finds himself quickly on that podium, and he hangs around quite a bit. Let me just tell you that. And if he's not there, he finds the spot really quick. And it's pretty impressive, to be honest with you. I think we always need to keep an eye on him. He might be he's using that Roush supercharger in that thing.
You know, I'll have to get his iRacing folders in the tech inspection, make sure he's not hacking Rams in there.
As we're hanging out on the back here of Stacy Bertrand, as we come down the stretch down here into turn 1, carrying awesome speed. But hey, you guys see that in the top right-hand corner. Paul Darling with another fast lap of 143.7. So he's already chipping away here at our leader.
Yeah, well, and he just cut around 2nd place John Kroom there. And so, Paul Darling, now lap number 3. I'm going to eat my words from earlier. I thought it was going to take all race for these guys to come and get set up, as it looks like there was a very bad accident there in the back. Not really sure what happened on that one.
It looks like that there was just a lot of movement around Austin Lawrence, Max. Those guys were moving around side to side. They were about 3 wide, and it looks like someone just hooked someone's rear.
Yeah, definitely looks like a drafting issue gone wrong there. Unfortunate there for both of those cars, as I know that Austin was involved in some accidents earlier, and then is going to have even more damage on the car now after that. And unfortunately, it also took out one of our regulars. I think that was Kyle Patey that ate the guardrail there.
I believe it was.
I know that Kyle is always excited to come and race these Roush Esports races with us. He always is hitting us up and anxious to come and participate in the next series. So I know it's a little bit of a rough race for Kyle right now, but always happy to have you out here. Looks like we still got Stacy out front. They're dealing with a lap car. Paul Darling, this is the battle for the lead right now. This is going to spell trouble for that 52 car, because if Paul Darling gets around, I think it's going to be bye-bye.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. It looks like it's about to happen.
You know, Paul being patient there, doesn't take it around the outside of the leader. I think that he knows that he's got a little bit more pace. He just wants to pick that spot where he can get a nice clean pass. But the longer you wait behind a car, the more your tires wear, the more it gets difficult to get around that car in front of you. So the sooner he can do it, the better off he is.
You know, I know McConey, they do setups and some training on the iRacing sim, but hey, you know, I'm gonna offer this up for free, guys. Bump and run, let's go. That's what would have happened in that bus stop right there.
Looks like Paul Darling doesn't even need the bump and run, as he makes the pass for the lead, coming through the laces of the boot there. And then, or I should, yeah. But looks like Paul Darling back out front as lap number 4 winds to a close here through the final turn. And guys, this is trouble for the rest of the field. Unless Paul Darling makes a mistake, I think it's night over for the rest of them.
But that is not over for the fun. As you guys see this 1, 2, 3 here, looks like it's starting off with Max Bogman going back to Trenton McMillian. Looks like they got a little race going. 1, 2, 3. These guys, I'm looking at the gap analysis all the way down, and these guys have pretty much held a 0.1, 0.2 second gap this entire time. So definitely, you know that these guys are hard in those mirrors and always checking on them for sure.
Yeah, well, I know that Trent McMillian back there in 9th place right now, another one of our regulars here on the Roush Esports channel. One of the things I want to point out is a couple places behind him, Ross Booth in the 03 car has made his way back from being spun there on that opening turn. He's going to be catching these guys, and I think that he's looking for at least a good finish to a little bit of a messy start for him.
Oh, you're right. We got a comment here, Mr. Black. Does anyone look at this chat box? Hey, I'm looking at the chat box. What's going on? We got spectators from Georgia, Brailsford. Matt's in the house. Matt's taking a trip in October to the Skip Barber Racing School for the Roush experience that he actually won through the Roush Performance Skip Barber series that we ran a few months back.
And I do want to give an introduction here because we're about 2/3 of the way through this race, but somebody who had a great race number 1 got tangled up a little bit in race number 2. We got our fearless leader, Jack Roush Jr. joining us here in the commentary booth. What happened out there, dude?
Just, racing stuff. Just got tangled up in 2 crashes. One I was able to avoid, but lost a number of positions. What's that?
I think we saw the one that you went to avoid at the end of the first race. Is that the one you're talking about?
There was that, but going into the S's, what was that? First lap, I had to make a big diversion off course. Got a penalty for it for going off course. And then I actually got tangled up in another crash, kind of a big crash at the beginning of the boot. But, oh well, that's the way it goes. I figured I'd come hang out with you guys rather than mess up anyone's race, since I probably wasn't going to be fighting for position.
Man, I don't think you're going to mess up anybody's race out there no matter what, Jack. You're always a fierce competitor, and you've definitely shown that you've been spending some time in the sim. I thought you had great pace out there tonight.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's what happens when you mess with Taco Bell. We saw the Taco Bell in the car. Anytime you mess with Taco Bell, it's a mess. So you gotta watch it.
It's almost as bad as messing with Burger King.
Oh yes. All right, looks like Stacy Bertrand, she is holding on to pace pretty well here. It looks like about what, half a second off pace here, but looks like Austin Lawrence and Isla there getting into it a little bit. Look at these guys.
I know that Austin has just been smack in the middle of a lot of the action tonight. And these pink cars are just all over the racetrack. It seems like no matter where you are, you got to look in your mirror for a pink car because they are there.
And shout out to the entire Rockefeller Racing team coming out and racing with us. So far, it looks like these guys have been an absolute blast to race with. Extremely competitive, all while being respectful on the track, which is all we can ask for. So shout out to those guys for hanging with us.
Well, I'm seeing 2nd place, pink Mercedes. 3rd place, pink Mercedes. 4th place, pink Mercedes. 7th place, pink Mercedes. I think they're a pretty big force to be reckoned with out here, and happy to have Rockefeller Racing out, and great to see everybody out on track there. Thank you guys very much.
I think that may be a hint that you should change your color to pink.
If you want to go full camo, start to blend in with these guys, definitely. As it looks like Paul Darling coming out onto the front straight here, still in complete control of the race. Followed quickly by those 3 pink Mercedes behind him. A 4th green Mercedes. It really is a Mercedes show out front here. But since we're on limited time, just want to give a shout out to everybody that has come out and participated with us tonight. And hopefully you guys are looking forward to our next race too. I know that this race is winding down, but we've still got next week to go too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun with a variety of manufacturers. I don't think we've ever had a race with the different makes, have we?
No, Jack, we've always pretty much done a single race series, and it's great to see the diversity of the manufacturers out here, all the different cars on track, all the different engine noises. It's great.
Yeah, it definitely makes me have more sympathy for the race series and try to balance everything.
It's a question I got for you. When you were out there tonight, how did you feel the balance of performance was between the different types of cars that you were racing against?
Honestly, I felt like it was, pretty tight. There's people, people who are faster. I won't say that it was their cars. It's probably a combination of setup and just more time in the sim. But overall, it's pretty amazing when you look at what iRacing's put together here. These cars handle so different, and big crash there.
Look at that, Alex, and was that Isla there? Got into it.
Was that Austin Lawrence again?
Yep, Austin and the 06 car.
I know that I hear Austin on the radio reporting that he's got some issues going on the screen. That often sounds like the excuses coming over the radio, doesn't it, Jack?
It does. Yeah, I got oil on my windshield. My radios don't work.
Sorry, Austin, for jabbing you in the ribs there. I know we're just having good fun over here. As looks like Paul Darling already on the last lap as he rounds out of the carousel, diving down into the boot for the last time. Complete control of the race. Complete control of this race.
Looks like the only battle on the track at the moment is these the three duos of the Rockefeller Racing. I don't know if we're going to see them pass in good fun, or if they're just going to go ahead and log in the what is this, second, third, and fourth.
I don't know. It certainly looks like the number 69 car is racing the number 45. That's John and Milan going at it there for the final spot on the podium. That's third place. And the number 69 car showing the nose. He wants to get up on that podium, but it seems like these pink cars might stay single file here as Paul Darling rounding out these last two turns. Coming around the final turn under the bridge, all the way out to the wall. Race number 2 winner, number 155, Paul Darling.
There it is. Man.
Nice.
There's Rockefeller team working into the stripe there as they pick off 2 podium spots here on the first RoushParts.com mini series. Little victory donuts there. That's well deserved.
I'd keep my eye on this number 155 Paul Darling car. I think he's just kind of patiently waiting. He knows the kind of sport that we like to play here.
That's right.
But yeah, just want to give a shout out to everybody that came and participated tonight. Thank you very much for racing with us here at the RoushParts.com mini series. Always want to give a shout out to all of our partners, as always. Continental Tire, thank you very much. Castrol, Haggerty Motorsport Reg, American Wheelman, McConey Setup Shop. Without all of you guys, we wouldn't be able to come out here and put on these great broadcasts. And Trev always does such a good job at being poignant and right on time with getting everything set up right before we go live. And he's doing a good job over there.
Heck yeah. No, appreciate that there, Joe. Appreciate all the all hard work that you put in on the time coming up to the event. I just get to kind of show up, but you get to put in the work weeks coming to these events, which is super cool to see them all come together. And let me just tell you, this RoushParts.com mini series is already huge success. Great racing, great partners, and seeing Paul pick up the win on both sides of this kind of sets the bar for the next race, which is going to be next week, Wednesday, I believe, the 31st, right here on the Roush Performance Esports channel. And as you guys can check out the official results here, sponsored by Haggerty Motorsports, as you guys can see the top 10 there.
Yeah, and I'm going to go grab a couple of our top finishers here and see if we can chat to a few of them while we're waiting here, going through the list.
Sounds good. And it looks like Mr. Black, no, thank you. We love you. I see that you love Roush Performance. We appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us for events like this. It's the followers and enthusiasts that really make these races, so we appreciate you guys on that. Looks like Dana Valcourt, Roush Road Crew Chief, hanging out in the chat. Just like I said, guys, if you haven't signed up for the Roush Road Crew, definitely is a huge, great opportunity right now that you can sign up on facebook.com/Roush Road Crew, or just search Roush Road Crew, click sign up. And let me just tell you, you don't want to miss out on this year's Roush Road Crew kits. They are absolutely awesome. And we're getting ready to obviously plan next year's events for the RRC. So if you guys have any ideas, go ahead and just shoot us a message. But looks like Joey's back in the booth. Joe, who do you have with us? Maybe Joey's back in the booth. Looks like he's grabbing a few more, and then he's going to jump back over. But no, we appreciate you guys. And if you're still watching, make sure to like and share. Let your friends know what's going on over here on the Roush Performance Esports page. And let them know to join the RoushParts.com mini series for next week. Whether you just want to watch it, or if you're thinking about driving, you can click that link in the Haggerty Motorsport Reg link on our Facebook page, and you can actually race with us, which would be super cool. All right, looks like Joe's back in the booth. Joe, who's hanging out with us here?
Yeah, we got a couple of these pink cars that we kept talking about out there. We got Stacy Bertrand and we got Milan Harris in here. I know that both of these racers were running out front this whole time. We'll start with Stacy, as you finished second here in race number 2. Great racing out there. I know you were, I think you were on pole here for the second race based off of the grid invert, and you did a great job out front. What was it like there having that 155 car come and hunt you down?
Oh, that was amazing. I mean, like, who allowed him to put a turbo on his car? Because to come from the back to the front that fast was pretty amazing. I mean, that was, I was like, no way, that's impossible. It was interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, well, we were making jokes on the broadcast that we're going to have to check the iRacing files, make sure he's not hacking the RAMs in there, because he certainly seemed like he was on fire. But back to you, I thought you raced a great race out there. Obviously, we're in the mix of it in race number 1, and then race number 2 really just kind of controlled the front of the field from that second place once Paul got around you. But how much pressure were those teammates putting on behind you?
About the same pressure we always give each other when we're racing for our own practice sessions. We race each other really hard, and we practice and practice and practice. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun having John behind me, because I figured, you know, if he really gets a good run at me, I gotta let him go. I can't block him, you know.
Yeah, well, it's awesome having you guys out here. It's awesome having the entire Rockefeller Racing team out and participating with us in these RoushParts.com mini-series. And thank you very much. I want to hand it on over to, actually, Jack, you got anything that you want to ask or anything you want to say?
Just thank you for racing with us tonight. It's awesome to have you guys, and you know, I'm really impressed with the talent and respect that, you know, you and all the drivers have.
That's great. We're really happy to be in this series, and we're running a good cause for cancer, and we just wanted to thank everybody in the booth there for allowing us to do this.
Yeah, well, that was getting to my very next point here before I hand it off to Trev. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to, say thank you to, or represent?
Go ahead, Milan. You do this first.
Oh, come on, you go.
All right. Rockefeller Racing, of course. We have a fantastic team there. You can check us out on Discord. Also, my real life sponsor, Porterfield Racing Brakes. Always give a shout out to those guys. They are the best brakes out there if you have a race car. And Cancer Research. So, yeah, never give up the fight. Never give up the fight.
Awesome. Well, that is always a great representation there. Trev, did you have anything that you wanted to ask?
And now that kind of answers my question of the all pink cars, obviously spreading awareness and all for a good cause. Stacey, is there any, location that you guys are taking donations to or trying to spread awareness to that we can go ahead and mention?
That would definitely probably be someone other than myself, as I'm a hired gun kind of thing.
All right. Well, we can, next
stuff
race
is in the works.
There you go. Yeah, next race we can work with you guys and see if we can get announcement on that. That would be awesome. But thank you guys for coming out and racing with us. I saw a screen full of pink, which was super cool. You guys were super quick out there, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, now that we got position number 4, Milan Harris, in here as well. I think that position 3, John Kroom, was already said peace out for the night, and so we've got one more Rockefeller Racing car in here. And was Stacey telling the truth, or were you just kind of peddling it back there, being nice in 4th place?
No, John and Stacey are smooth. They're smooth in practice. They're very consistent, and I'm the guy that just licks the stamp and sends it. So they were being smooth, and I was pushing back there. I'd gain on them, make a small mistake, and then have to gain it back. So they definitely held their own. There was nothing I could do. So.
Well, you guys looked great out there. You guys put up a great, clean race. So I just want to say once again, thank you for your entire team for coming out and participating with us in this series. And hopefully we'll get to see a bunch of you guys next week at Red Bull Ring.
Absolutely. That was a blast. And thanks to the whole Roush crew for putting this on. That was fun. And all the cars in the race and stuff. That was a great group to drive with. So thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Jack, did you have anything that you want to say or ask Milan?
Just congratulations, great driving out there, and thanks for being part of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Awesome, guys. Well, yeah, like I said, thank you, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
And that leads us to a couple more, actually only one more that we got in here. Looks like we got Jim Johnson in that 808 car. Now, for all of you who are unfamiliar with Jim Johnson, going back, founded Rebel Rock Entertainment, Rebel Rock Racing, and was an IMSA driver for a long time, IMSA team owner, and he always is super pumped to come out here and participate on the sim with our iRacing stuff. Jim, how's it going out there?
It's good, man. Thank you for having me out. Any night I can get some arm pump going with my new steering wheel, it feels great. It's fun to race with you guys. I saw Jack out there. I was desperately trying to keep up. Yeah, man, what a good time. Thanks.
We were watching you and Jack in race number 1, so you guys will have to go back and check out that broadcast. But we thought you guys did a heck of a job starting back there, in the mid-20s and working your way all the way up to like 14th, 15th finishing position. Was it just like real Watkins Glen with all the different types of cars out there? Was it just as intense, Jim?
Yeah, I think my heart rate was a lot higher in this thing than it was actually in a race car. I don't know if it's because I'm sitting in a simulator right above my bedroom and my wife is down there like, what's all that noise? I don't know, because I'm just going to get things thrown at me when I'm done. But no, it is just as intense, and the drivers are so good. Everybody was so clean. Once we got through that first lap, it was really interesting. It reminded me back in the day of like a a race at Watkins Glen with Grand Am, where everyone's just foot on the throttle into turn one. It was good times. And yeah, Jack, I saw him right back there, and he kind of plowed up through and passed me, and I just thought, let me just follow that guy. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, Jack, go ahead.
Oh no, it was great driving with you, Jim, and great catching up on things tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure.
Well, guys, actually, hey, Jim, do you have anybody that you want to give a shout out to, say thank you to before we sign off of here?
Yeah, you guys, Joey and Jack and Roush, I appreciate the invites always. My buddy Chandler and Steve were out there racing with us. I believe Chandler and I are the one that got tangled up in that turn there on lap 1. So shout out to you, butthead. But yeah, like everybody in the race, all you guys that are out there doing this sim racing, it's so much fun, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Great, Jim. Well, always a pleasure to have you out here participating with us in the virtual world, in the real world, whenever we get to hang out. It's awesome having you out here. So thank you very much. And that's going to pretty much wrap it up for us. I know that Trevor always closes us out. So I just want to say thank you and look forward to our next broadcast next week. We're going to the Red Bull Ring with these same GT3 cars.
Wait, I forgot to shout out Trevor. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Man, I miss you, man. I miss all y'all in person. We got to get together.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, guys, that is it for the RoushParts.com mini-series. We'll see you guys next week. We had a blast racing with everyone. And in the meantime, head over to RoushParts.com and let's see how we can take your vehicle to the next level. We'll see you guys next time.